the United States of America. The country that more Nigerians dream about visiting than almost any other destination in the world. And also the country that has one of the most feared visa processes for Nigerians. I know people who have applied 3, 4, 5 times and kept getting rejected. I know people who spent money on travel agencies that gave them wrong information. I know people who showed up to their embassy interview completely unprepared and walked out without a visa. And I know people who prepared properly, did everything right, and got a 10-year multiple entry B1 B2 visa on their first attempt. Today I am going to make sure you are in that second group. This is the most complete, step-by-step USA B1 B2 visa guide for Nigerians in 2026 that you will find anywhere on YouTube. We are covering everything: what the B1 B2 visa actually is, who qualifies, the DS-160 form, the fees, how to book your appointment, every document you need to bring, how to prepare for the interview, what the visa officer is actually looking for, the most common reasons Nigerians get rejected, and the exact things you can say and do to significantly increase your chances of walking out with that visa. Stay with me till the very end because every section of this video matters. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Praise and I run Social and Travels, a travel and migration support company that helps Nigerians navigate visa applications, trip planning, and international relocation. The US visa is one of the most requested topics I get asked about, and I wanted to create the most honest, complete, and useful guide I possibly could for 2026. So everything you hear in this video is current, researched, and specifically relevant to Nigerians applying from Nigeria. Here is what we are covering today. What is the B1 B2 visa? Who qualifies? The step-by-step application process from start to finish. The complete document checklist. How to prepare for your interview, including the exact questions they will ask you and how to answer them. The fees and appointment process for 2026. The top reasons Nigerians get rejected. And my honest bonus tips at the end. Let us get straight into it. Let us start at the beginning. What exactly is the B1 B2 visa? The B1 B2 is a non-immigrant US visitor visa. Non-immigrant means it is temporary. It does not give you permanent residence or the right to work or study in the United States. There are 2 parts to it. The B1 is the business visitor visa. It allows you to travel to the US for business activities, attending conferences, meetings, negotiations, training programs, or settling an estate. You cannot work for a US employer or receive payment from a US company while on a B1 visa. The B2 is the tourist visa. It covers holidays, visiting family or friends, medical treatment, attending social events, or taking short recreational courses unrelated to higher education. Most Nigerians apply for the combined B1 B2 visa, which covers both business and tourism purposes under one visa. This is smart because even if you are primarily traveling for tourism, having the B1 component means you can attend any business meeting or event while you are there without any issue. Here is what makes this visa worth the effort. If you are approved, you could receive a visa valid for up to 5 years with multiple entries. That means you can visit the United States as many times as you want within that 5-year period, staying up to 6 months per visit. That is incredible value if you get it right. However, and I want to be very clear about this, Nigerians are not eligible for the US Visa Waiver Program. That is the program that allows citizens of certain countries to visit the US without a visa. Nigeria is not on that list. So every Nigerian must go through the full application process including an interview. There are no shortcuts here. Before you spend any money or time on this process, you need to honestly assess whether you currently qualify for this visa. Because one of the biggest mistakes people make is applying before they are ready. Let me walk you through the core eligibility requirements. Requirement 1. Genuine purpose of visit. You must have a real, legitimate reason for visiting the United States. Tourism, visiting family, attending a conference, receiving medical treatment. Your reason must be honest and clearly documented. The embassy can tell when a stated purpose is not genuine. Requirement 2. Intent to return to Nigeria. This is the biggest one, and it is where most Nigerians get rejected. Under Section 214(b) of the U.S. Immigration and Nationality Act, every visa applicant is presumed to be an intending immigrant, meaning the law assumes you want to stay in the U.S. permanently until you prove otherwise. That burden of proof is entirely on you. You must demonstrate to the visa officer that you have strong, compelling reasons to return to Nigeria after your visit. Requirement 3. Financial capacity. You must show that you have enough money to fund your entire trip in the United States without needing to work or depend on others. The amount is not fixed, it depends on the length and nature of your trip, but your financial situation must be credible and well documented. Requirement 4. No previous immigration violations. If you have previously overstayed a U.S. visa, been deported from the U.S., or been refused a visa under certain sections of immigration law, your application will face significant hurdles. Be honest about any previous history because the embassy has records. Requirement 5. Valid passport. Your passport must be valid for at least 6 months beyond your intended stay in the United States and must have at least 2 blank pages. If you honestly meet all 5 of these requirements, you are ready to apply. If you have a weak area, particularly ties to Nigeria or financial capacity, spend time strengthening that before you apply. A rejected application stays on your record and can affect future applications. Alright, let us walk through the entire application process from the very first step to the moment you pick up your visa. Follow this in order and do not skip any step. Step 1. Complete the DS-160 form. The DS-160 is the non-immigrant visa application form and it is the foundation of your entire application. You complete it online at the official U.S. Department of State website, csc.state.gov. Do not use any third-party website claiming to fill this form for you. Only the official government website. The DS-160 collects your full personal information, travel history, employment history, family information, background questions, and details about your intended trip to the U.S. Here is what you need to know about filling it out. Take your time. This form is long. It can take 45 minutes to an hour to complete properly. Do not rush it. Be completely honest. Every single answer on this form is checked and cross-referenced against your other documents and against U.S. immigration databases. Any inconsistency, even a small one, will create problems at your interview. Save your application ID as you go. The form times out if inactive and you will lose your progress. Save and note your application ID number so you can return to it if needed. Once you submit the form, print the confirmation page. This page has a barcode that you will bring to your interview. Keep this page safe. Step 2. Pay the MRV application fee. After completing your DS-160, you need to pay the machine-readable visa application fee, the MRV fee. As of 2026, the standard B1 B2 visa application fee is $185. This is non-refundable under all circumstances, whether your visa is approved, rejected, or you miss your interview. This money does not come back. So make sure your application is solid before you pay. You pay this fee through the U.S. Visa Information and Appointment Services website, ustraveldocs.com/ing, which is the official portal for Nigerian applicants. Payment options in Nigeria include bank deposit or online payment. After payment, you will receive a receipt. Keep this receipt because you will need it to schedule your interview and you will bring it to your appointment. Step 3. Create your profile and schedule your interview. After paying your fee, go back to ustraveldocs.com/ing and create your profile if you have not already. Enter your DS-160 confirmation number and your payment receipt details. Then select your interview location. In Nigeria, there are 2 locations for U.S. visa interviews. The U.S. Embassy in Abuja, located at Plot 1075, Diplomatic Drive, Central Business District, Abuja. The U.S. Consulate General in Lagos, located on Walter Carrington Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. You can choose either location regardless of where you live in Nigeria. Many people in Lagos apply in Abuja or vice versa. There is no restriction on this. Choose the location with the earliest available appointment. This is where I need to be very honest with you. As of 2026, B1 B2 visa interview appointment wait times in Nigeria are running between 7 to 13 months. That is not a typo. You may wait up to a year for an interview slot. This is why you should schedule your appointment as far in advance as possible. Ideally the moment you are ready to begin the process. Do not wait until your trip is coming up before you book your appointment. Check the website regularly for cancellations. People cancel appointments and those slots open up suddenly. Some applicants get much earlier appointments this way by refreshing the page frequently. Step 4. Prepare your documents. This step deserves its own full breakdown and I am going to cover it completely right after this. Do not skip that section. Step 5. Attend your visa interview. On the day of your interview, arrive at the embassy or consulate at least 30 minutes early. Dress professionally, smart business casual at minimum. First impressions matter. The interview itself typically lasts between 5 and 15 minutes, but those minutes are the most important part of your entire application. You will go through a security screening at the entrance. Phones and electronic devices are generally not allowed inside. Check the specific rules for your location before you go. Do not bring unnecessary items. Once inside, you will go through document submission and biometric collection, fingerprints and a photograph. Then you will be called to the interview window where a consular officer will ask you questions about your application and your intended trip. Be calm. Be clear. Be consistent. Answer the questions directly and confidently. Do not over-explain or ramble. The officer asks a question. You answer it concisely and honestly. If you do not understand a question, politely ask them to repeat it. I am going to go through the most common interview questions and the best way to answer them in a dedicated section coming up shortly. That section alone could make the difference between approval and rejection. Step 6. Biometrics collection. Biometrics, fingerprints and photograph, are collected at the visa application center or at the embassy depending on your location. In some cases this happens on the same day as your interview. Make sure your fingers are clean and dry. This is a quick process. Step 7. Wait for processing and collect your passport. After your interview, the officer will tell you whether your visa is approved, pending further processing, or denied. If approved or pending administrative processing, your passport will be retained.
Processing typically takes between 1 to 3 weeks after the interview, but administrative processing, which requires additional checks, can take longer. You will collect your passport through courier delivery or in-person pickup at the location you selected during scheduling. Check your application status online through the official portal. Once your passport comes back with the visa stamped inside, you are ready. Okay. This is one of the most important sections of this entire video. Your documents tell your story before you open your mouth at the interview window. A well-organized, complete, and honest document file significantly improves your approval chances. Let me go through every single document you need. Mandatory documents. Bring these to every interview. 1. Valid Nigerian passport must be valid for at least 6 months beyond your intended date of return from the US. Must have at least 2 blank pages for the visa stamp. If your passport is expiring soon, renew it before you apply. Do not apply with a near-expired passport. 2. DS-160 confirmation page, the printed confirmation page from your DS-160 submission with the visible barcode. This is non-negotiable. Without this page, your application cannot be processed. 3. Visa interview appointment confirmation letter, the printed confirmation of your scheduled interview from ustraveldocs.com/ing. Bring this to the interview. 4. MRV fee payment receipt, proof that you have paid your $185 application fee. Print this and bring it. 5. Recent passport photograph, one recent passport size photo meeting U.S. visa specifications, 2 by 2 inches, white background, no glasses, neutral expression, full face visible, taken within the last 6 months. Even though the embassy takes your photo during biometrics, bring one anyway as some locations request it. Supporting documents, these build your case. 6. Proof of financial capacity, this is one of the most important supporting document categories. You need to demonstrate that you can comfortably fund your entire trip. This includes bank statements from the last 3 to 6 months showing consistent account activity and sufficient funds, evidence of income, salary slips, employment letter stating your monthly salary, or business income documentation, asset documentation, property ownership, investment portfolios, or any other evidence of financial stability if someone else is sponsoring your trip, their bank statements, proof of their relationship to you, and a signed sponsorship letter. 7. Proof of employment or business ownership, this serves 2 purposes. It shows financial capacity and it demonstrates ties to Nigeria. Include employment letter on company letterhead stating your position, length of employment, salary, and confirming that you have approved leave for your travel dates and that your job is waiting for you on your return if self-employed or business owner, CAC registration documents, business bank statements, company letterhead, and evidence of ongoing business operations if a student. University enrollment letter confirming your continued enrollment and your expected graduation date. 8. Proof of strong ties to Nigeria, I cannot stress this enough. This category of documents is the single biggest factor in whether a Nigerian applicant gets approved or rejected. You need multiple pieces of evidence that prove you have compelling reasons to return to Nigeria after your visit. This includes property ownership documents, land titles, house purchase agreements, tenancy agreements in your name, family ties, marriage certificate, birth certificates of your children, evidence of dependents who rely on you in Nigeria, business documents showing ongoing operations that require your presence, job confirmation letter, already covered above but worth repeating here, evidence of ongoing financial commitments, loan repayment schedules, mortgage documents, business contracts. The more ties you can document, the stronger your case. One single tie is rarely enough. Show multiple compelling reasons to come home. 9. Travel itinerary, a detailed plan of your trip, where you are flying from and to, flight details, where you are staying in the US, the dates of your visit, and a general plan of your activities. You do not need confirmed flight tickets at this stage. A flight reservation showing your intended travel dates is acceptable. Your accommodation can be shown through hotel reservations or an invitation letter from your host in the US. 10. Invitation letter, if applicable. If you are visiting family or friends in the US, get a letter from them stating their full name and US address, their immigration status in the US, citizen, green card holder, or visa status, their relationship to UA, confirmation that you will be staying with them or that they are inviting you to visit, their contact details. 11. Previous travel history, if you have previously traveled internationally, especially to the US or other Western countries, include copies of relevant visas and entry-exit stamps from your passport. Prior travel history, particularly to the US, significantly strengthens your application because it shows you have returned home from previous trips. If you have an old US visa, bring that passport even if it is expired. 12. Proof of medical insurance or travel insurance, optional but helpful. While not mandatory for B1, B2 applications, Having travel insurance that covers you during your US trip shows the officer that you are planning a genuine visit with a return intention. 4B1 Business Applicants, Additional Documents. Invitation letter from the US company or organization you are visiting, on official letterhead, specifying the purpose of the meeting or event, conference registration or program if attending an event, evidence of business relationship between your Nigerian company and the US entity. Organization tip. Organize all your documents in a neat folder in a logical order, mandatory documents first, then supporting documents. Use dividers or labels. A well-organized file signals to the officer that you are prepared, serious, and detail-oriented. Section 5. The Visa Interview, Preparation and Questions. This is the section that most guides rush through or skip entirely. But the interview is where your application is won or lost. Let me prepare you properly. Understanding what the officer is looking for. The consular officer has one primary job during your interview, to determine whether you are likely to return to Nigeria after your visit, or whether you are a risk to overstay your visa. Everything they ask you, everything they observe about you, is designed to help them make that assessment. They are looking for clarity and consistency in your answers, evidence of genuine travel purpose, strong ties to Nigeria, financial capacity to fund your trip, confidence without nervousness, because nervousness can be misread as dishonesty, answers that match your documents exactly. Common interview questions and how to answer them. Why do you want to visit the United States? Answer this specifically and honestly. Not "I want to visit America," but the exact purpose. I am traveling to New York to attend a tech conference from the 15th to the 22nd of July, or I am visiting my sister in Houston who recently had a baby and I want to spend 2 weeks with my family. Specific, truthful, concise. How long do you plan to stay? Give an exact duration that matches your itinerary. I plan to stay for 12 days, not maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Vague answers about duration raise red flags. Where will you be staying in the US? Name the specific hotel or address. If staying with family, give their full name and address. Know this answer without looking at your papers. What do you do for work in Nigeria? Answer clearly and completely. State your job title, company name, how long you have worked there, and, this is important, that your employer is expecting you back after your trip. I work as a senior accountant at ABC Limited in Lagos. I have been there for 4 years and I have approved leave for this trip. My employer is expecting me to return on the 28th. How much does your trip cost and how are you funding it? Be prepared with a realistic number and an honest answer about funding. My round-trip flight is approximately $1,200. I have budgeted around $3,000 for accommodation, feeding, and activities during my 12-day stay. I am funding this from my personal savings, which you can see in my bank statements. Do you have family in the United States? If yes, say so honestly. Having family in the US is not automatically negative as long as you have strong ties in Nigeria too. If your family in the US is your primary connection and you have weak ties at home, this is where it becomes a concern for the officer. Be honest but balance it with your Nigerian ties. Have you ever been refused a US visa before? Be honest. The embassy has records. If you have been refused before, say so and briefly explain what has changed since then. Stronger financial position, more established career, property acquired, and so on. What ties do you have to Nigeria that will ensure your return? This is the most important question you will answer. Have a clear, comprehensive answer ready. I own a property in Lekki. I run a business with 6 employees who depend on me. I have a wife and 2 children here. My job requires my physical presence. I have every reason to come back. America is a visit. Nigeria is my home. Body language and presentation tips. Make eye contact with the officer, not staring, but confident and direct. Speak clearly and loudly enough to be heard through the glass partition. Do not fidget with your documents or look down excessively. Answer questions directed at you. Do not volunteer extra information that was not asked for. If you do not know the answer to something, say so honestly rather than guessing. Dress professionally, business attire. Not overly casual, not overly extravagant. Let us talk about why Nigerians get rejected for the US visa, because understanding this is just as important as knowing what to do right. Rejection Reason 1, Section 214. B. Failure to demonstrate non-immigrant intent. This is the most common reason for B1, B2 visa refusals not just in Nigeria but globally. The officer was not convinced that you will return to Nigeria after your visit. This comes back to ties. If you cannot convincingly show why you would come back, they will assume you plan to stay. Solution: build and document your ties to Nigeria before you apply. Do not apply if your ties are weak. Rejection Reason 2, weak or inconsistent bank statements. Sudden large deposits right before your application. Long periods of near zero balance. An account that does not reflect the lifestyle you are claiming to have. Officers are trained to spot these patterns. Solution: maintain consistent, genuine account activity for at least 6 months before applying. Do not artificially inflate your account. Rejection Reason 3, vague or unconvincing travel purpose. I want to travel and see America, is not a travel purpose. The officer needs to understand specifically why you are going, what you plan to do, where you will be, and for how long. Vague answers are red flags. Solution: have a specific, detailed, realistic trip plan before you apply and know it well enough to talk about it naturally. Rejection Reason 4, inconsistent information. Your DS-160 says you work at Company A but your bank statement shows your employer as Company B. Your interview answer about your salary does not match your employment letter. Your stated purpose of travel does not match your invitation letter. Any inconsistency destroys credibility instantly. Solution: review every document and every answer for consistency before your interview. Rejection Reason 5, previous overstay or immigration violations. If you or an immediate family member has previously overstayed a US visa or violated immigration terms, this follows you. It does not automatically disqualify you, but it significantly raises the bar. Solution: if you have previous violations, consult an immigration professional before applying. Rejection Reason 6, applying too close to your intended travel date. If there is no realistic time for the visa to be processed before your travel date, the officer may question the seriousness of your application. Solution: apply well in advance, at least 6 to 8 months ahead given current appointment wait times. Rejection Reason 7, nervousness that reads as dishonesty. The interview is stressful. But excessive nervousness, shaking, contradicting yourself, giving different answers to the same question, can make an officer doubt your honesty even if you are being completely truthful. Solution: prepare so thoroughly that you are confident. Practice your answers out loud. Do mock interviews with someone who will ask you tough questions. Let me give you a quick breakdown of all the costs involved in this process so you can budget properly. MRV application fee, $185, non-refundable regardless of outcome. Paid in Naira at the prevailing exchange rate. Service fee, if applicable not applicable for B1, B2, this is only for student and exchange visitor visas. Optional professional help. If you work with an immigration consultant or lawyer to prepare your application, factor this cost in. It is not mandatory, but many people find it helpful, especially for complex cases or after a previous rejection. Travel costs to your interview location. If you are traveling from another city to Abuja or Lagos for your interview, budget for transport and accommodation. Total application budget recommendation. Set aside the equivalent of at least 200,000 Nigerian Nairas to 350,000 Nigerian Nairas for the full application process, covering the fee, document preparation, photographs, travel to the embassy, and any professional support. After your interview, one of three things will happen. Immediate approval. The officer stamps your application and tells you your visa has been approved. Your passport will be returned to you, typically within 3 to 5 business days by courier or pickup. Administrative processing. The officer tells you that your application requires additional processing. This is not a rejection, it means they need more time to do additional checks. It can take anywhere from a few weeks to several months. You cannot do much except wait and check your application status online. If they need additional documents, they will contact you. Denial. The officer informs you that your visa has been refused and explains the general reason, usually citing Section 214(b) or another section of immigration law. You will receive a written refusal letter. Read it carefully. This letter tells you exactly what you need to address before reapplying. If you are denied, a denial is not the end. Many people get approved on their second or third application after addressing the specific reason for their refusal. Do not reapply immediately with the same application. Address the exact issue, strengthen your ties, improve your bank history, get a better employment letter. Give it at least 3 to 6 months before reapplying so that your situation has genuinely changed. Alright, I want to close out with some tips that you will not find in the official guidance but that genuinely make a difference. Tip 1. Schedule your interview early in the morning. Multiple applicants report that interview outcomes are slightly better when you are seen early in the day when officers are fresh rather than later when they have been processing applications for hours. Schedule the earliest available slot. Tip 2. Know your DS-160 inside out. Officers often ask questions directly from your DS-160 form. If you filled it out weeks ago and do not remember what you wrote, that is a problem. Review your form the night before your interview and make sure your verbal answers match exactly what you wrote. Tip 3. Less is more in your answers. Answer what was asked. Nothing more. Many applicants over-explain out of nervousness and end up giving contradictory information or raising new questions in the officer's mind. Be concise, be direct, be done. Tip 4. Travel history is gold. If you have been to the UK, Canada, Europe, or any other developed country previously, and you return to Nigeria each time, those stamps and visas in your passport are powerful evidence that you respect visa terms. Bring every passport you have ever owned to your interview. Tip 5. A genuine trip beats a perfect application. The most approved applications are ones where the person is genuinely planning a real trip. They know where they are staying. They know what they want to do. They are excited and specific about it. Fabricated trips, even with perfect documents, often fall apart under questioning because the details do not feel real. Plan an actual trip. Know it well. Let your enthusiasm be genuine. Tip 6. Apply when your situation is strong, not when you are desperate. Do not apply for the US visa simply because someone else is going or because you feel pressure. Apply when your finances are solid, your job is stable, your ties are strong, and you have a real reason to go. Timing your application when you are genuinely in a strong position is one of the most underrated strategies for approval. Tip 7. If you have been refused before, change something meaningful. Reapplying 6 weeks after a rejection with the exact same documents is almost always a waste of money. Something has to be genuinely different. A new job, a property purchased, a stronger bank account, a business that has grown. The officer's assessment has to change because your situation has actually changed. And that is your complete 2026 USA B1, B2 visa guide, from the very first step to collecting your visa. I know this was a long video, but this process deserves a long video. Because the US visa is serious, it is expensive, and if you do it right you could have a 5-year multiple entry visa that opens the door to the United States as many times as you want. The people who get approved are not luckier than you. They are more prepared. They know their story. They have their documents in order. They walk into that interview window with confidence because they have done the work. You can be that person. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up. It genuinely helps more Nigerians find this information when they need it most. Share it with someone who is preparing for their US visa interview. And subscribe because I post visa guides, migration content, and travel tips every week specifically for Nigerians who are ready to see the world. Drop your questions in the comments below, whether you are applying for the first time, preparing after a rejection, or just figuring out where to start. I read every single comment and I will reply with honest advice for your situation. And if you need professional support preparing your application, documents, interview coaching, or full application management, reach out to Social and Travels. The link is in the description. Let us get you to America. See you in the next video.